everybody. Back on the most hilarious podcast, the Rhoyal Remix. That's my thing now. So today we have a special guest. Every time it's a special guest because y'all never seen any of these people before. Because I've never heard these people.
Right.
So we have Shelby Davis. Y'all give it up. Woo! So Shelby is many different things. I like what it said on that graphic. You're a multi-purpose?
Creative, yeah.
Multi-purpose creative.
Yes.
That's super cool. And she does many things. She has 2 kids.
Woo.
Okay. She is the CEO of Bonafide Babe LLC. And what else? Entrepreneur, influencer.
Yep.
All the things. Wife, period. I mean, it's really crazy. You're really amazing. And I've known Shelby since, what is it, like 7-8 years?
Way back when.
Something like that. It's crazy. Almost, I've been out of high school, I guess, 10 years. We both have. Mm-hmm. So I've known you like probably 7. Something like that. Yeah, that's crazy. We're really excited to be here today. And we're going to just be chatting about really what it means to be a multi-purpose creative. Like, how does that work? And the confidence in knowing that even if you're not like a doctor or a lawyer, like I'm not, how do you still find value in that?
Ooh,
yes.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's deep.
I love
but to start us off, let's do a little, we're not really strangers. We're just going to do level 1 questions on this. All right. If you don't know the game, We're Not Really Strangers. I'm not being sponsored by them, so
it should be.
Right. Sponsor me. So you just read the question, and then we answer it about each other.
Okay. What compliment do you think I hear the most?
I don't want to say probably that you're really nice, because that's a compliment, but that's not like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Because she is really nice. But she probably hears like, I feel like it's changed over the years. But I think like fashion has been a compliment for you. Like, you're such a nice like person, but now that you have kids, I feel like you're a really kind parent. I feel like that's a compliment that people can see off of it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Appreciate that. Like, you're so pretty. That used to happen a lot. We used to go out all the time, and people would always be like, "Oh, you're so pretty. You're so pretty." So she hears that a lot too. Okay, and mine says, "What do you think I'm most likely to splurge on?"
Splurge.
I'm not really a splurger.
I know you're actually really good with money now.
That's
food.
Facts. I do love a good food. I will go get food. Oh, good job. Thanks for playing.
Thank you.
I remember like over the years, like as people would ask you like what you did
for
or they'd be like, what do you do? Or like, what's your job? It was always like, it took you time to kind of answer that. So if someone asked you today, like, oh, what do you do? What would you say?
I would say like you said, I'm a multi-purpose creative. I would say I'm a business owner. I'm a mom. Like, just like all the things, because that's what I am. Before I was like just so not confident in like what I was doing, because I didn't know what I was doing. But then I'm like, oh no, I can actually like make money from this. And then you see other people making money from like influencing and stuff like that. Even though I'm not making the money I'd like, I'm still it. You get what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, I have to step into this in order to like let God like really give it to me.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta go in without all the resources sometimes.
Oh God, yes. But the thing is that Rhoyal has always been the person that's like, oh, she's an influencer. Like, she'll come in front of me and be like, yeah, she's an influencer, like you should follow her. And I really always appreciated that, because I'm like, she believes in me. And every single thing that I've done, I was like, oh yeah, like she'll tell them.
Literally, I try so hard not to do that, but I remember so many different occasions of that, but I remember sometimes we might be at like a Mother's Day brunch or something, and we're sitting next to some woman who's like, you know, some older woman, and she'll be like, oh, what do you do? And then she'll be just sit there for a little bit, and I'm like, oh, she's an influencer. But I try not to like speak up too much, but I do think, you know, it is hard sometimes for us to, especially as women who know that there are supposed to be like a good wife and a helpmate and a mom and all that kind of stuff, but you do things, you know?
Yeah, and also I'll say, like, when women would ask me that and they're like older, I would also kind of get afraid that they'd be like, but that's not like enough. Like, what do you like? Yeah, I like that side hustle, but like,
yeah, like that's not a real job,
right? And so I guess I was scared of that rejection of like, but you're not really doing anything. So that was, I think, a really big part of it. But now I'm like, right, like this is what I'm doing. I think you have to kind of get over the opinions.
Yeah. What do you think helped you grow in that? Like confidence.
I would say God.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, I started just kind of thinking like, well, he thinks I can do it. He didn't give me this in my heart for nothing.
Exactly.
Like, he didn't give it to me to like ask for approval on how much money it makes or, what it's doing. And then also like people that were affected by it, like they would say like, oh my gosh, like I relate to this.
Yeah.
And it's like making the impact that you want to make. That's what matters. It's not really about the followers, all that stuff. Like, it was impact, and that's what, like, followers is nice.
It's nice. It comes with it.
Exactly. But what I found was that, like, I didn't really care about that when I was posting something that I felt would actually help people. So that, I would say that was what.
Yeah. And I think even seeing your journey in Instagram or on Instagram, like, when people first followed Shelby, when I first followed Shelby back in the day, it was like, you posted your outfits and you were really cute, model status kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then it turned into, like you said, and I always get amazed every time when I see it, like you'll post like a faith thing or something about God or like your journey on something. Yeah. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it's different. It totally switched. And also, I would say to the fact that when I look back, I don't want to say like I didn't do what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And people grow old and they think like, oh, I should have just done that. I also would have set the role model. Be the role model for my daughter and my son. You know what I'm saying? Just be like, oh, she did that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you want to be, because you don't want, your child to look back and be like, oh, yeah, I think my mom would have done this, but she didn't, so I'm doing it now,
Yes.
And then you end up living vicariously through your kids.
Oh, that's the worst. I don't know what that's like.
That is a cycle. People do that, and it gets really weird sometimes. Mm-hmm. And I think, like, our parents didn't necessarily, I don't think they had to feel like they had to live through us. Yeah. But even someone like our dad who says he was good at soccer or whatever sport, and then like Robert and Robinson are doing the sports that he wishes he could have done. He doesn't do it in like a negative way, but he still has to be like, yeah, they did that. I didn't get to do it, but I would have been good. It's like,
right.
I don't want to say that either.
Real. Well, what about you though? Because you've had a journey yourself.
I keep saying this to myself more so because I probably am actually fearful, but I would say I'm fearless, and sometimes I'm just ripping the Band-Aid, honestly. Like doing these podcasts and like trying and just seeing what happens, like falling flat on my face, I'm just like, it is what it is, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. Right. But I feel the same, like if you get an inkling in your spirit of something and it just doesn't go away, there's a reason for that. It does not mean we'll just suppress it, because then you're gonna be miserable, and that's not the vibe. That's not the vibe. And being a woman, I feel like it's so empowering and impactful, because you're like, oh, a man is supposed to provide, so let's let him do that. While I am able to use my gifts to do the things, still helping make money, but at the same time, you don't have to. It's not like your job to have to provide. So you said you had 2 kids.
Yes, ma'am.
So tell them your kids' ages, and if you want to tell them their names too.
Yes. So London is my firstborn. She's a girl. She is turning 3 next week.
Aww.
Yes. And then I have Robert the 4th, and he is 1.
He seems like he's been here for a while.
Yeah. That's a big boy. London too, though. London, she gives 4 or 5.
London is grown. Every time I see a show, like I've been watching My Wife and Kids lately.
Yeah.
And the little girl in there, Katie, I think she's probably like 6 or 7 in the show. And I'm like, if London wants to be on camera and wants to say lines, like she could do those.
She
roles.
could. She could. So she's in this phase right now where she's carrying around nail polish, and I tried to get it off before I came, but it was on one hand. But that's her phase right now.
Oh, period. Yeah, she wearing heels, y'all. Like London wears heels, she runs around in them. I'm like, that is a girly girl right there. Yes. That is so funny.
Yes.
So let's talk about this. Her being a mom is so interesting to me, because we're the same age.
Yes.
And when you had your first kid, how old were you with London?
24.
Okay. So if she was 24, that means I was 24 at the time. And I remember when she said she was pregnant, where did we go the weekend before you said you were
out? We went out.
Were we in a different state, or we were just in Fed?
I want to say
I feel like it was Cinco de Mayo or something.
Cinco de Mayo. It was the summer. We went to Rain's birthday trip.
Where'd she go?
Virginia? No? Did I do that?
I don't think so. Whatever it was, it was a lituation before.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Oh my gosh, but I remember being like, oh my gosh.
It was North Carolina. Was it for your birthday?
That was a wild year. But either way, that is significant because we were both like living our best life.
We were outside.
Including Rob, and like just them having to pause or pivot. Right. I was like, oh man. I was about people, boys. If I could go back, which I could do sometimes, like go back in my photos, it was just us three. Every weekend. And then boom, I was like, well, that's it.
Yep.
That was a wrap. It was an era.
It was an era, man.
It's okay.
I miss it.
I know. It was an era, but now, you know, we're getting grownish. So what would you say to young moms? Like, what would be one piece of, like, advice or, like, warning or what? Like, something.
The warning is crazy. You have to do it your own way. Like, you have to. Because if you try and be somebody else, it's not gonna work. You're gonna be unhappy. Yeah. Like, because you know your mom and sister, they're like, they are like super moms.
Textbook moms.
No, they are like amazing. They stay at home, and I was like, I thought I wanted to stay home full time, and then I was like, this is really hard. Yeah. Not that I'm not against hard work, but it's like I realized I also enjoy working on something outside of motherhood. So I like both. Like, and so right now I'm like in a split of like I stay home some days and then like 2 days out of the week I work. Yeah. And so like that's what was good for me. And I had to realize that like I can't be somebody else.
Yeah, actually.
I don't have the skills. I don't have the threshold that they have. Like, so it was just like not comparing myself. So don't compare yourself. Literally make it your own, because then it becomes fun. Like I love like my kids. Like and I love being a mom. Now
the way you were created to be.
Yes. But in one season I was like, I don't know that I enjoy this.
It right.
Yeah. Like, and it was like, no, like this is not how it's supposed to be. Yeah. So I would definitely say make it your own. Yeah. And Shelby's come into a family dynamic that is so, you know, specific. I would say it's a very like, you know, pastor's family kind of thing. Ooh, my neck. And also just, you know, we're all so close, you know, and everyone's kind of been raised the same. And then Shelby pops up. When Shelby came in the family, it was like she came in the family. It wasn't like, you know what I mean? Yeah. It wasn't like the classic, like, oh, we meet her, every once in a while we see her. Like, she was with us. So she became kind of like a sibling even before you guys were married. It was just like, we just always saw you. Yeah. And I think that can be an interesting line to walk of like, oh, like these people are this way. Should I be like them, or should I be coming in with my own, you know, kind of set of things? Right. And I think that you did a good job of trying to balance that, because it's a really interesting dynamic to walk into. What do you think about the whole like pastor's kid thing? How did that land on you? I love it, actually. I love it. I don't really give into the whole like, you know, like I know people are watching. Yeah, and it's like, I respect that and I hear that, but I've never felt like it really, really affected me. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, it's been a blessing. Yeah. Everybody's always been like, especially at this church, like they've been super welcoming, super supportive, and like just like kind of pushing me forward. Yeah. So I love it, actually. That's good. Yeah, I think, it is something it's a good person to glean to. Shelby is about that, because when you walk into a family, it's that they've been raised a certain way, and then you have to see how that works with how you are. So that's really good. I would say the biggest thing is clothing. Like I think my style was a little risky before I you know, what's the word where you cover up? Modest, yeah. I before I got into a more modest style, but. Yeah. that was the hardest. I think you've influenced me in terms of like being your full authentic self and being like, oh, well, I didn't know that because I'm just me, like, and really just walking in that, because I don't think
assimilating is not always the best. Like just, I guess I should do this because everyone else is doing it. So I think you've done a good job of that. So as you've been a parent, what do you think you've learned about yourself so far?
I've learned I'm a little bit selfish. That was like a big, like, ooh. Like maybe
it'll show you.
Yeah, it really does. It shows you that I was a little bit selfish, but also that I can do things that I thought I couldn't do, like, or handle. And like I used to be super afraid to like go outside with them, like, you know what I'm saying? Not outside, but like go to the grocery store and be afraid of like what happens if they do this and what happens if they freak out. Go to a restaurant with them. Like I was so afraid, and then I did it, and then I was like, I can do this, and so it made me feel like I can be responsible.
Yeah, so it's an adult thing.
Yeah,
like that's when I think about like how old you are, because we're the same age.
Yeah,
I'm like, wow, she's really an adult. You're at the next level. I'm like, they have a home and everything. It's like a really big job.
Yeah,
that's seemingly not going to end for a couple years. 18,
Yeah.
Like,
oh man.
All right. Plus, when the other kids are 18, you know what I mean?
Right.
It just keeps on going.
What about you as an auntie? What have you realized?
I've realized that I always say, I'll just do whatever with my own kids, I guess. Like, I think I just see the different parenting styles of my different siblings, and then seeing, like, the pace of having children. Like, Risa has 4 in 5 years, and, like, you guys have 2 in, like, 3 years. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I'm like, And I think, like, for me, I want, like, 2 in a possible, I always say.
Yeah, exactly.
But Christian, I think, is open to having, like, he says, like, 2. One time he was like, yeah, 2, 3, or 4, and I was like, okay. But I think when you find the person that you want to be with, it like makes you soften your heart to different options.
No,
but
for sure.
I think I've learned that you have to, like you said, be your own parent, like be who you are in parenting. I think it's really important. I always joked around and said to my mom that I would hire her for 3 years to live with me, and just raise them, and then I'll come in and be the fun parent. But I think like just learning what you can do like that.
No, I will say your mom is that girl. Yeah. She is like, she's been the most help for us. All the grandparents have, but Gigi's like, you know what I'm saying? But I would say that I hired a nanny. Okay, yeah. Yeah, and that was a thing, a YouTube video I just posted was pretty much saying like, it's okay to hire help. Yeah. Like when you gotta do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? You have to find certain things to work how you want them to work. Mm-hmm. And it's okay. You're not lazy. Like you gotta work things out. Yeah. So ain't nothing wrong.
Yeah, I literally saw someone had said one time that like they can't really cook because that's the wife. There's like these duties, right? Like the wifely things to do, or like the things as a mom they're supposed to do. And the girl was like, "Yeah, I can't really cook, but I know how to place an order like a mug." And I'm like, period. Like, so I think even in those types of things, it's like every mom doesn't have to be like. What's her face? The one on TikTok that'd be like, today I'm making Pop-Tarts. Oh, my kids like Pop-Tarts, and I'm gonna go get the chickens. Like, it's just like, wow. Oh, God. And it's like, someone might think that's what you're supposed to do, but I think, like, even I'm not doing that, Right. So I just think it is important to be how you...
Mm-hmm. I mean, I started off not knowing how to cook. And you know that she was helping me in the beginning.
I don't even think for you it's never that you don't know how to do something or you're not good at it. It's just like you just have to do it and try.
Yeah. And I actually like it now. Yeah. Like I be on a schedule. So
what's your favorite thing to cook? What's your favorite thing?
Shrimp Alfredo. I'm making it tonight.
She be chefing.
Period. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. But so have you guys talked about, like you and Christian, have you guys talked about like all those things, like what are the roles and like how many kids are we really having?
Yeah, so we talked about it, and he likes cooking, so it's a different dynamic for me. Because the men in our family, you're not really seeing them in the kitchen unless they're making food for themselves. And then same with like dishes or clothes. It's like in our family, it's been very traditional in terms of like the women roles and the male roles. Mm-hmm. So that was something new. I think I honestly either prayed for that subconsciously or God just knew. Right. Because Christian, he lives on his own, so he cooks for himself. His name on TikTok is literally Chef Jolie. Like, he knows how to cook. He, cleans his own dishes, because he lives by himself. So he is very different than the men that, like, have grown up in our family. So, like, even when he asks if he can, like, help with the dishes or whatever, I'd be like, in my head, I'm like,
yes.
What? Like, or if I forget to ask him, because, like, he'll cook for me at his house, and then I'll forget to ask if he needs help with the dishes. Like, it'll be too late, so I'll be going home.
Yeah.
And then I'll call him back, like, I should have asked to help. He's like, oh, like,
it's okay.
I didn't think about that.
Aww.
And I'm like, yeah, that's crazy. The Lord must have known me. He really knows me. Because I think, every relationship is different.
Yeah.
Everybody's different, and you have to know who you're with, and
Absolutely.
know, like, what you guys are gonna do. So I think that's important. So as a wife, what do you think is, like, what are 3 things that are, like, you feel as a wife, these are the things you should be doing?
Is this rate? What rate?
Oh no, you can rate. It's rated whatever.
Okay. Number 1 being pleasing your man, because
it's the shoulder.
Because it's actually really important. And it's like going through life, especially having kids, like, you have to, like, fit it in there. Like, you have to be intentional about it, because if not, you'll turn into roommates. And it's like, you can learn that the hard way, or, like, actually listen. I think that's one. I think it's kind of being, when you get married, like, you're supposed to both bring 100. So it's really bringing that 100. And if you're not on that 100, you communicate it. And then number 3 would actually be communicating it. Yeah. Because bringing it back to the 100, like, you should do your duties that you say, like, you're gonna do, like, the laundry, like, whatever you guys agree on. Yeah. Y'all gotta do it, and he's gotta pull his weight too. So it's like, just
I didn't take it. Well,
taking the trash out. Yeah, that's.
But if it's really there and I'm the only one, it's okay. But
yeah, sheesh. I would say that those are my 3 things: communication, the 100, pulling your weight, pretty much, and then please, your man. Please.
You gotta do it. I think, and I wonder why, which it's kind of obvious why, but, like, why people aren't comfortable saying that, like, you have to do your wifely duties. I feel like nowadays it's so, like, oh, I'm not, like, a traditional, I don't do all that. But it's like, whatever y'all agree on or decide, like, that is what you're gonna do.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. Like, I guess it's more so, like, they don't want to seem forced into it. Like, you're not gonna make me do this, and that's really not what it is. You want to, like, be that partner. Like, you want to be a team. Like, that's all it is. And so it shouldn't come across as, like, you have to do this. Like, it should come across as, I get to do this. And I know that sounds like so what's the word, like,
cliche?
Cliche, like, kind of cringy, but it's like, no, like, this is actually a blessing, and I'm actually, like, I'm working for this. That's putting in that work. Like, they say marriage is hard. That's why it's hard, because sometimes you don't feel like doing the dishes. You don't feel like doing the laundry. And then it's like, but then your man has no clothes. He doesn't have clean underwear. The dishes aren't, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it's not about you. It really is. Marriage is not even about you. It's about, like, God. But it's also, like, you're supposed to be here and here, equally yoked.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, that's a hard line. And I think, with the equal yoke thing, a lot of people don't know what that means, one, or they're not willing to seek out the person that is equally yoked with them because of whatever they're cute or whatever they think. But I think for me, it was that equally yoked doesn't mean that they have to be, they're not going to be ahead of you. But I think for Christians especially, they'll be like, well, he needs to pray a lot, he needs to go to church, and he needs to have a good relationship with God. And it's like, that's true, but do you?
Right.
Then that's an equally yoked is if you can find someone that prays once a day because you pray once a day. Okay.
Exactly.
People want someone to, like, oh, I want a man that's going to lead me and da-da-da-da. It's like, that's good, but do you lead yourself? Like, do you know how to pray yourself? Like, what do you do that would match up and align with them?
Oh, no, for sure. And I will say, like, me and Robert got married young, so, like, we're learning. So, and that's what I would say, like, it's okay to learn. Like, start somewhere and then learn. Like, I didn't know how to cook, but I knew I could start. And, like, Robert, like, he grew up in a Christian family, but we both kind of like, we do a Bible plan every morning. We had to implement that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So what are other things? Like pretty much just like maybe affection. Just, we had to learn these things about each other and about ourselves. Like, what can I really do to make me feel?
Yeah, it's learning, especially like you said, when you get married young. Yeah, it's like you're learning as you go, and if you're older, you might want to get these things in place before.
Yeah.
So you
have the discussion. It's so necessary. It's so necessary.
Yeah. Matthew said something. We had a PM chat. We need to do those more about fasting or something. But there was a question to Matt about if you could have had a conversation before you were married with Risa about whatever. What would it be?
I think I asked that.
You asked?
I asked it.
Oh, like he said, if I know everything about Risa and she knew everything about me before we got married, we probably wouldn't have got married. And I was like, wow. And he didn't, I don't think he meant it in specifics, but he was basically saying that, like, if you learn everything about a person, you're going to find something that you don't like, and then you're going to choose based on that, versus like growing with someone when you're in it, which I think is like, you know, everybody doesn't want to do that. They want the person to be perfect.
It's not real.
Yeah.
It's not real.
You got to learn as you go.
I mean, I wouldn't take like BS. I wouldn't take like they're not treating you right, but like if they're trying, it's worth it to like,
especially if you chose them. It's like, okay, let's work on this.
Give them some grace.
Right. So you are a wife, a mom, and then you said the entrepreneur and the multi-purpose creative. So with Bonafide Babe, what is that?
So it's a community. It's also a podcast, YouTube channel, all the things. So it's pretty much, I love connecting people. Like, I love connecting you to host an event. Like, I love setting people up to build what they want to build. So like, I have a financial advisor. I want to refer people. And so what I want in the future to have built out is like a whole process where like an entrepreneur is like, this is the steps I need to take. And so it's still in the works, but I do have the podcast and stuff like that where it's like a full rounded thing. I want overall wellness, like mental health, just like being your authentic self. That's what Bonafide means, to be authentic. So that story came from me not knowing what I wanted to do. And then I'm like, okay, like, what can I build that like represents this and, you know, makes me feel like I have a purpose. And so I just want to build women that, you know, that they want to go after something. They want to be a mom and a businesswoman. They want to be a creative. They want to be anything, you know? I want to set people up no matter what their business is. So I want to hold like networking events and stuff like that. You know, Rhoyal's going to be hosting it. So it's just, I want to connect people and help people like do what they want to do, pursue their purpose.
And you said that came from you not knowing.
It came from me not knowing it during COVID. I was like, and it started as a boutique because like you said, I like fashion, and I'm like, I don't know,
more purpose.
That's not what I like really love. And then it became social media management, which I do like social media, and I've always been in social media, so it became that because that's what was making the money. And then I'm like, it's still not like hitting. And now that I'm like rebuilding something even better, it's like, this is it.
That's good. And with your entrepreneurship, you know, that's on the passion side of things. Like, and I think sometimes people think that they have to do something that's just like making them money versus what they're actually passionate about doing. So how would you say people can find that balance, like of what they're passionate about doing or doing what they feel like is going to make them money? Because do you still social media manage too?
Yes.
So how do you balance those?
So I would say, because I know there's this whole thing where it's like, quit your job and go after what you want. And I'm like, okay, let's think about this logically. Like, I would say it really is a balance of like, if you plan well enough, then you can quit that job. But it's like, don't be out here jumping off shit, because then you're in a position and it's like, and then you look and like you're in a hard like place, but it's like God still wants you to follow that purpose, but he doesn't want you to like be, you know, suffering either. You gotta set yourself up. Like, you gotta put the faith in the works. So I would say like, find that balance. You might have to do some work that you don't necessarily feel like doing at first, and then it'll come around in a different way.
Yeah, because it's not all about, I think sometimes we get, especially dreamers, like we want to do whatever that we're thinking of doing without the work behind it, or we just want it right now. And it's like, okay, like let's pray about this, you know. How do you think that God has impacted your journey? Because I think sometimes with entrepreneurship or even like being a wife or a mom, it's like, I'm just gonna do it. Like I'm just gonna do it. I can do it. A lot of like I'm gonna just work hard. I'm gonna just da 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 da. But what do you feel like? How do you feel like God played his role?
Man, it's just like, I feel like he kind of realigns me whenever I go off course. Like he's always like, is the focus really on me? Because I remember when I was trying to do content and I'm like, this feels purposeless, because I'm like, it wasn't like bringing people to Christ. It was just like kind of self-centered. Like I said, like it was just like, how do I get popular? Like how do I, you know? And then it was like God kind of brought it to me, like, are you bringing people to me? Like, are you, you know, like, what is this really doing for people? Like, how are you helping people? So I was like, I think he always kind of realized to make sure my heart is in the right place. Yeah. So
that's good. And those motives can get skewed. I think sometimes, like, it's a lot of people do it. Like a lot of people do what they can for their brand. Like, oh yeah, this one made me a lot of followers. Or you know, you see YouTube videos are like, how to grow your channel in 3 days. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know if God wants me on that fast track, he does. If he doesn't, he doesn't. Right. And I think like you can do what you can to be successful in whatever, you know, your avenue is, whether it's social media or, you know, business or whatever. But I think it is staying to the ground and trying to hear what God's saying, because people get ahead of themselves and they just start ambition, like, oh yeah, I got this, like I'm gonna work hard and and it's just like, it burns out quicker. I went to this podcast training and the guy was like, how many of you know people that started a podcast and they just never, like, it just didn't go on? And I'm like, me. Literally, I'm like the Word Lyric Show, like when I first started it, Gabby, I told her when she came on, I was like, you were my first and last interview. Like, and she was like, what? And I'm like, no, you actually were. She's like, no, you interview people. I was like, no, I do like on site, like, but I don't sit down with people. And she was like, that's wild. But it's because I didn't have a plan necessarily going into it. In the training, he was saying, like, you need to record 4 videos before you even post like 1. Wow. And then like you'll keep it going and like set a schedule for editing, all that kind of stuff. But it was just, I had an idea. Like that's why I told her in the other episode, I'm like, it wasn't for the right reasons with at first, you know, like I knew what I was good at, what I wanted to do, but I didn't invite God into it, and I didn't have God really on my side. It was like I just knew God, but I didn't like make him a part of the business plan, you know. And I think now every episode is not necessarily about God like as a, you know, topic, but it's incorporated because God's a part of everything that I do now. Like it's not like, and even if it's not ministry necessarily, or I'm not praying for people, it's like I'm a God-filled person, so I can't do anything without him. And if he doesn't okay it, then
it's gotta be okay with that.
Yeah, like ugh.
And it shows like how much God is in your life now. Like I would almost say like, what is it, 360? Oh yes. Yeah, like I mean, it wasn't like you were crazy before, but
or 180 because it's
yeah. But it's like, I mean, you can definitely tell that God is in your heart. Like, and I just want to give Ro props because like it's really life-changing, and the way she's also bringing other people, crazy. It's so inspiring to me, and I know to a lot of people. But
that's really nice.
She's that girl.
That's so nice. I think as you go and as you grow like in your craft, God's gonna bring people to give you, you know, those affirmations, but also like you'll see the fruit. Like even with like Rob and Shelby and like all the people that were in my friend group, like Rob and Shelby are gonna be in my friend group because they're my siblings. But like as we've all grown, like I've seen us not be, you know, we were at Fed Hill every single day of the weekend. Like it was no games played. Like we were always gonna find the moves every single time. Like I don't know how much gas we had burned from going places. It was really like, what was our purpose?
There wasn't none.
No, literally. And I think like these types of these new growing things that we're doing are so like crazy to watch us do. Like tell them what new things you're getting into these days.
Oh, I have joined the praise team.
At the
Which is crazy because I remember actually you and I were having a conversation outside a reservoir when you were subbing, or no, you were teaching still then. And I was like, you know what? I want to be Sweetie. Like, I had no type of singing anywhere around me.
She like singing to herself,
right in the shower. Like that was, and it's like, what are you doing? Like, and so she's like, yeah, like you gotta step it, like you gotta do it. So it's just so funny that now we're on the praise team together. Yeah. And it was like, I really felt encouraged from you and people around us that were like, you know what, you should join. And then I was like, oh, I can't not do it. I told these people I would try. Yeah. So I ended up going. I didn't psych myself out. And so I just went. I was a little nervous. And I did it. Yeah. And the praise team has just like welcomed me in. And it's really cool.
Yes. I'm so happy for her. And like, since I've been doing so many other things to the church, it's hard for me to still do praise team as heavily as I've been doing it. Yeah. But I'm still a part of it. But the other day when you sang, she sang by herself with the choir. And I was in the audience able to like, just, cheer you on out there. But Thanks. It was just so important to see that. And what you don't know is that, what's her name? Melanie had texted me, who is like one of the leaders for the praise team, before you would do it. And she was like, I don't think Shelby's going to join. Can you give me her number? Da, 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 da. And I gave her your number. And then I responded with the number. I said, don't let her not do it. She's not going to necessarily listen to me because I've been telling her. No. I was like, you have to tell her she can do it and encourage her. Don't let her not do it. And she was like, okay, I'm going to do it. I was like, you have to keep getting on her nerves about it. And so
that's why she's so
hard. When Shelby said she was on it, I was like, thank God that Melanie actually stayed with that, because she really wanted Shelby to do it, but I was like, you have to keep going because she will get you to tell,
Yeah.
You don't want to pressure anyone, but you do want to encourage. So.
Yes, that means so much.
I was silently doing my little
that's love. Yes, that's love. But there.
I'm really proud of all that you're doing. What would you say? How do you keep your life fun and like not so? I'm just a mom and a wife, and I do my business. Like, how do you keep it joyful?
That is a good question.
Those are a lot of duties. Honestly, I have been hustling in all those aspects, but I would say surrounding myself with you guys, like Bible study, that was really helpful for me when I was going. Just surrounding myself with family, like we hang out pretty often, so that's a really big part too. Just kind of like taking time for yourself, doing what you want to do. Books, like I'll read an audiobook in the car. Oh, good.
And so that's helped me like get my books in. So just kind of like making stuff. ChatGPT, that low-key has been helping me too. Yeah. I'm like, so like how do we plan this? Yeah. And so, just stuff like that. It makes me look forward to like things in the future.
Good. Yeah. What is like one of your self-care things that you do?
Oh, my hair. I need my hair done. I just realized that like this year. Yeah. Like after my second child. I'm like, oh wait, this makes a difference. When I have my hair done, I feel so much better. When I don't, it's a no.
Like crazy person.
Yeah, like, and I'm not saying to be vain, but it's just like just knowing this is what matters to me. Because finances can get a little crazy. You might gotta, and you gotta stop some things. And so like, and I realized like, oh no, I'm keeping this. Yeah. So.
That's good. Yeah.
Thanks, girl.
So as we kind of close, what do you feel like is a piece of advice for young women in their 20s who, I'll give you 3 different options, or you can do all 3. Okay. One is young women in their 20s who are engaged. One is young women in their 20s who are a mom for the first time. And lastly, young women in their 20s who are entrepreneurs.
Okay, I'd like to do all 3 if I can.
Yes.
Okay, but you might have to remind me. The first one was who are engaged. I would say have the conversation, the hard conversations, have them. Yeah. Because once you get married, you're in it. Yeah. And I mean, I know there's divorce, but like you get married to stay married no matter what. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how, like, the seasoned folks, that's how they made it. Yeah. And it's like, you have to go through things together. Yeah.
Go through. Grow through.
Grow through is it. Yes. Yeah. The next one is young moms. Make it your own And also take time for yourself. Don't just be somebody's mom. Find out what you like and what makes you feel fulfilled. Also, because, you know, you feel fulfilled with your kids, but also what makes you fulfilled outside of that.
Yeah.
And then
young
entrepreneurs, find a mentor. Find a mentor, people you trust. Learn. Like, just take a course. Like, anything that can help.
I remember you were like the course queen back in the day.
Yeah, I had a
She was like, yeah, Udemy. She was like, yeah, I'm a Udemy, and
yes, because it helps. Like, you just learn, you know, and it's like you're just not staying stagnant. Yeah, I would say, just like try and learn.
Yeah,
and be open.
Yeah,
be open, because don't be so closed-minded, because that's gonna, you know, the whole McDonald's thing where the people that first started McDonald's, did you read that book?
No.
The people that started McDonald's, it was like two brothers. They just like couldn't go any further, but they were successful. But then somebody else came in and took over and grew it to the McDonald's that it is today.
Oh,
they like gave them all.
Did they give them money?
I think they bought it off. Yeah, they bought it off.
Oh, they just sold it.
Yeah, the thing was like the McDonald's brothers, and then some guy that's not a McDonald's brother came in like and pretty much.
Yeah, made it big.
Made it huge.
Yeah, so, and they say God will give it to somebody else. If you can't do it, he ain't gonna not let it happen.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think someone had said, you know, multiple sermons I've watched, but like that God will he's going to get his job done. Either through you, because if he wants you, he's going to ask you. But if you just keep waiting too long, he's going to give it to someone else.
Yep. And I just don't want that to be me. That's
it's just trying. Falling flat on your face, even if you... Like how in the last episode, I was like this. And when I was literally just watching it right before because I'm about to edit it. But you know, you gotta do that. And I also had an episode that I filmed back in 2021, I think, when I went to LA with Gabby. I've interviewed this artist named Limo. Bro.
It was sounding crazy.
It was sounding fine, actually. It looked crazy. I really downloaded it from because I was on Dropbox just trying to see, and I remember Jonathan and them had put that episode in there. I had it edited for a lot of money, and I never used it because I was like, my hair looks a mess, like what in the world? But I'm actually gonna post it because I'm like, it's gonna show the journey. Yeah. Because but I think like just doing it, even if you're afraid or if you don't have everything in place, like yeah,
it's so real. That's so real.
Yeah, it's really important.
Do you have any advice?
I would say do it afraid is my advice. I think sometimes, or even without all the resources, or with what you have. Mm-hmm. Like someone said, I think it was Mike Todd that said, like, all you have is all you need. And that joint is crazy. Like like all the amount of videos I do on my phone, like it got to a point where I had the money saved to buy this camera, but I still was like, I'm still saving. Like I'm just gonna ask for my birthday, and I was like, and it was ripping the Band-Aid out. The night I bought it on Best Buy online, I went to pick it up the next day. I dreamt about it after I pressed buy.
Hey, yo.
It was so crazy, but I just was like, Rhoyal, like, just do it. I mean, you be telling everybody else, you know, I'll be telling everybody to just do it. So I think, and Christian said something like, it seems like you're just so like comfortable with like the podcast stuff. You just seem so comfortable. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm not actually as comfortable as I probably want to be because I'm just starting out, but it's just ripping the Band-Aid and doing it, even if you know.
I love that.
Aren't fully equipped. And always learning, like you said.
Yeah.
So the final question I like to ask as a branded question for the show is, what in your life are you currently remixing, or do you want to remix in your life, or something you have remixed? Like you made it better, or you did something to build it up. Like, to your life.
I would say the biggest... It's kind of two things. It's the Bonafide Babe thing, just making that better, but also finding my own way with mothering and entrepreneurship. I would say I remix that. Yeah.
Thank you.
because I just feel like I'm in a place where I can do both now, and that's what I remix.
That's good. And I feel like, yes, you have grown. I've seen your growth. I love talking to people that I already know because I've seen the growth over time, like so much, and like you know, who we started out as. And even when you have siblings that have kids that were your like ride or die siblings, when they grow up, it's like, well, you have no choice. Yeah. Because they're just they have kids, and now you're like, well, I need to do something. Like, so thank you so much for being on. I really appreciate you. This is really great that I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. I'm proud of you.
I appreciate you being on. What are your social media handles, and what do you have coming up that you might want people to follow or watch or any of that?
Okay, my social media handle is shell.audrey. That is my social media handle. I'm combining my social media between Shell.Audrey and Bonafide Babe. Okay. So that's going to be my main platform. Then I have a YouTube channel. That's kind of what I'm rebooting. My series right now is called the Overwhelmed Girl series. It's for like...
I think I'm subscribed, but I didn't get a notification. You posted a video recently?
Yeah.
Okay, I need to make sure I'm subscribed.
Yeah, I'm low-key doing it like low-key because I'm trying to build it up. Oh, okay. But yeah, so that's pretty much just like people that are overwhelmed moms, people just trying to get things together, just some resources that I've used to help me. And then, what was the other one? My website's bonafidebabe.online.
Nice.
That's it.
Well, make sure you guys follow those, and see you guys in the next one.